God.
But I think one of the ones that stands out with me is when they were going to have this gang summit in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to come up with, we decided to come up with an agenda for the gang summit.
Jane called.
People started calling in and saying, at the end, Jane should get up and sing "I Want to Die," and then all the gang leaders take out
shoot her. And the line that you used, and the line that he used, he says, "Oh well, now we got to have a nice welcome at the Hilton. We can put chocolate bullets on all the
chocolate-covered bullets on all the and free crack-filled balloons for all the kiddies."
Oh God, what a couple
now you talk about now there's an example of feeling a little twinge of guilt behind that comedy. I felt that sometimes, but I let it go.
You really did?
Oh sure.
Do you still?
The way that stuff was affecting my community at the time, I probably should have felt a little guilt.
Oh, really?
That's when you look at the serious side of it. But when you're doing entertainment and comedy, look, there are a lot of African-American folks who would probably listen to a Don Rickles record and not care for it very much. But I love Blazing Saddles. I love Don Rickles. Viva la différence. I can't laugh at everything. Now, I've watched the Dave Chappelle show. A few things I laughed at, but I don't care for
okay, but Chris Rock does shtick all the time.
Yes,
Chris Rock is very funny.
And now you talk about a double standard. He does, I guess, I don't know. If a white guy's doing race-based humor, a lot of African-Americans will have a problem with it, but if Chris Rock does it, it's okay.
Well, it's like
Go figure.
It's like Jackie Mason can do all the Jewish humor he wants.
Right.
But if Jackie Mason all of a sudden starts doing black humor, Jackie Mason's going to get in trouble. Conversely, if Watts does Jewish humor,
right.
You better be doggone careful. You better be doggone careful how you do it. Oh, I got to ask you a quick question. We'll take a break, and Elaine's got those hints, folks. So get those pencils and paper and have them at the ready. I saw the Oliver Stone movie with Nick Cage. Did you or did you not see it?
Did not.
Okay.
I'm not in a rush to see it.
It is mediocre.
I heard you say
it. It is absolutely mediocre. And my buddy Mike in Florida, who adores Stone, he agreed with me. It was a network television movie. Very, very, very boring. Have you seen anything since we last time?
Prairie Home Companion, Devil Wears Prada, You, Me, and Dupree, which I hated, and Clerks 2, which I laughed at a lot. A follow-up to that.
When is the next big splurge of films come out? I mean,
the Oscar contenders.
Well, when would that be? Until the end of the year?
No, they start rolling out in September.
What's the most anticipated thing that's out
there? It might be that All the King's Men, if that's coming out. It might.
Did they do a remake of that? Who's starring in that?
No, you're thinking of All the President's Men.
No, All the King's Men.
Is that a remake?
Well, I don't know if it's about a Huey Long type mayor or governor.
Yeah, I think okay, then I can.
Yeah, who's in it? Who's starring in it?
Is Pacino in it? I think he might be in it. It's an all-star cast. I can't think of everybody.
Well, Pacino played. Well, Broderick Crawford won the Oscar for it in 1949, and Broderick Crawford, Joanne Drew, and a bunch of other people. It was predicated on Huey Long, who was the kingfish in Louisiana, as a matter of fact. And I had heard that they were doing a remake, but I don't remember Pacino being the name. I'd be interested to see Pacino.
Your producer could check with IMDb to see who's.
Yeah, do me a favor, Greg. Just find out who that is.
But there's some movie with Ryan Gosling about a teacher that's addicted to drugs and the student that he bonds with. That's supposed to be getting a lot of acclaim. I don't know how far that'll go in terms of award season, but
what's interesting is I was reading this piece today on blogs and blogosphere and how important or unimportant they are, and I've always thought their importance was highly overrated. The only time they are important is when they catch some goof that's made on television, and God forbid if you make a goof, because there are 9 million blogsters that are going to get out there. But this guy was making a point about the power versus the non-power of the blogs, and one had to do with Ned Lamont. They took credit for helping to jump Lieberman, but Lieberman is so far ahead now. Where are the blogsters? But the other thing they wrote about, and true or false, I don't know, apparently the blogsters went nuts over this Snakes movie.
Right, they did.
And predicted that this was going to be the summer movie of summer movies, and from what I've gathered, it ain't doing well at all.
A $15 million weekend is not a lot of money.
No, not a lot of money at all.
That might be a big opening for a small independent film, but the way this movie was, they did pour some money into the marketing of it. Sam Jackson, yeah, Juliana Margulies. The hype, the overhype regarding this movie, you would have thought that it would do a lot better, but I think the actual phobias that people have about snakes kept them away from it.
That could have done it. I got news for you.
Snakes on a plane?
Yeah. The only movie that ever really made me cringe.
We'll be serving snakes on a plane before the evening is over.
Julia, it's so nice to hear you. We thought you were dead.
Well, I heard that we were serving snakes, and I'm into exotic foods.
You have a nice snake recipe that...
Yes, but
Snake stew, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Anaconda stew is delicious, and we just lather it with butter.
And then I gotta ask you guys a racially insensitive question.
Oh, not from you,
but what the hell? After the fight we had earlier, why not? The Jeffersons did this bit. It was one of the Jeffersons. Jeffersons did this bit. Louise had these recipes from her mom. And Mr. Bentley says, we can make a fortune with this, okay? And George Jefferson says, why the heck would you want to do that? We moved here so we wouldn't have to eat that stuff anymore. And here you are turning this into, he called it a ghetto cookbook, okay? Possum? Did you ever eat possum?
Good God, no. Huh? But I saw this episode of CSI New York where they're supposed to have these exotic food parties, and the people are eating worms, and they're eating deep-fried tarantulas and all this stuff. I mean, to each his own. You go to one country, you're going to find them eating a bunch of stuff.
No, but they made it sound like it was in the Jeffersons episode. They were talking about when they lived in Harlem, they were eating possum, and I was hard. I mean, maybe a lot of African Americans ate possum, but I didn't think the ones in Harlem did. It just you ain't going to find a possum anywhere in New York City.
My parents ate possum.
Really?
Yeah.
Some of that
well, you're not from this area, though. Where are you from originally?
I'm from the Hill District.
You are from the Hill. Okay.
Yes.
So they did eat possum.
Some of that stuff gets. I would imagine some of it gets trucked up by certain people. I heard of a guy that goes up there to sell it to people that like to eat it.
Really?
Yeah, but that happens with all kinds of animals. You know, you go to different parts of the country, you're going to find them eating things that you know. If you're a city boy, you're eating what?
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
But the things you mentioned, those are delicacies.
Go down to Louisiana. You know these western areas, these rugged areas. They eat certain parts of the sheep and give it a ritzed up name.
Oh, the cow testicles out in
prairie
Colorado.
Oysters and all that sort of thing.
Quick question before the break because I want to get these hints in.
My father brought cow tongue home when we were kids.
Oh, I ate cow tongue.
I
hated it.
I've eaten tongue. I've eaten tongue.
Ugh, I had it once.
But the people that eat I saw a chef on TV once he puts the clams in, the oysters, then he puts baby octopus in, and he stirs it all together, and it's a meal. I wouldn't go anywhere near that.
I wouldn't go anywhere near that either. I'd be afraid of being eaten alive by the food. Real quick, you were in Toronto for a week. Did you get to see much of Toronto?
I did get to do some walking around, not to the extent that I would like to, but I know the one thing that is certainly true, I will go back there for an entire vacation. Rocco was just thrilled that I was there. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be spending some time with him when I go out to L.A. next week.
Tell Rocco
but I will do that.
You going to California next week on vacation?
Yes.
For a week?
For the first time, I'm going to visit Los Angeles.
Great.
I'll be there for about 5 days.
Well, Spandola's not in L.A.
No, but he's going to come up from Irvine. We're going to walk around L.A. and see what that's like. Then I'm going to go see him and his folks in Irvine.
Well, give Pendola my best.
But yeah, Toronto is like Oakland times 10.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I would never spend an entire day in Oakland, but I would definitely go back to Toronto.
I know you mentioned Witness was up there, and you loved it too. All right, Elaine's got those hints, folks. So ante up. AM News Talk 1360.